Good afternoon. My name is Eric Hoffman. I'm the co-founder and CEO of ReveraGen BioPharma in Rockville, Maryland. And ReveraGen is the sponsor of developing Vamorolone, a replacement for corticosteroids in treatment of Duchenne muscular dystrophy, currently under development. We received a $1 million contract award with Jesse's Journey, now Defeat Duchenne Canada, in 2020, so 2 years ago. And this was to carry out a clinical trial of an expanded age range in Duchenne. So all our previous trials of vamorolone have been in 4 to 7-year-old steroid-naive boys, and these have been carried out in 33 sites in 11 countries over the last couple of years. But this trial is a Canada-only study, so it's a clinical trial enrolling only in Canada, and it's to, for the first time, study younger 2 to 4-year-old patients and older 7 to 18-year-old DMD boys. And the older boys can be both previously treated with corticosteroids, so switch from corticosteroids to vamorolone in the trial, or have been off of corticosteroids for 3 months or longer. So this $1 million award is a large award, and it was done in a different model, which is sometimes called venture philanthropy, which means it's not so much a grant as an agreement or contract between Jesse's Journey or Defeat Duchenne Canada and ReveraGen as a drug development company, where it's a shared risk, shared benefit model, where based on later drug sales of vamorolone, Jesse's Journey will be repaid by ReveraGen about up to 400% or fourfold more than the grant was. So if vamorolone is successful and gets approved and sold, those drug sales will repay Jesse's Journey and repay up to fourfold their investment over the last 2 years. So where do we stand with this trial? So the trial has been going quite well. It initiated, it's actively enrolling it. It's, first of all, I should mention that the study chair is Jean Ma at Calgary, a wonderful and expert physician scientist who has participated in all the vamorolone trials to date. And so she is the medical clinical lead for this Canada-only study. The study is currently actively recruiting at 3 sites in Canada that are open, and that's Dr. Ma in Calgary, Dr. Selby in Vancouver, and Dr. Lockmuller in Ottawa. And we expect to begin recruitment very soon, within the next few weeks, at 2 additional sites, with Dr. McMillan in Montreal and Dr. Godorowski in Toronto. To date, even though the trial has been actively recruiting at just 3 sites for just 2 or 3 months, we've already reached 30% enrollment. The entire trial is 44 participants, 20 in the younger age group, 24 in the older age group. And so the trial has been recruiting very briskly. And there seems to be enthusiasm of patients and families and physicians for joining the trial. And this is a very important trial because it really is the first time to expand the age range of testing of vamorolone. One of the hopes is that with less side effects, like the loss of stunting of growth, which we see, and loss of bone morbidities, and perhaps other side effects that you see with corticosteroids, it becomes more feasible to treat younger and younger boys, and that might have greater and greater effect long term. So that's why one of the reasons this trial is so important. And also it's important for the first time to study the transition from deflazacort to vamorolone, or prednisone to vamorolone. We also studied in a double-blind trial, but not deflazacort. So this trial is very important for multiple reasons. Again, this is a Canada-only study, which is also unique, and it's really because of the relationship with Defeat Duchenne Canada that it was agreed to be a Canada-only study, in part because we expected there to be a lot of demand for entering the trial internationally, and we didn't have the bandwidth as a company or the number of slots to make it possible to enroll in many countries. So it really made sense to limit the number of sites to meet the recruitment needs. And it made sense then with this relationship with Defeat Duchenne Canada to just limit it to Canada and just the 5 sites there. And as I mentioned, in just 3 months, we're already 30% enrolled. So that thinking or that rationale seems to have been quite accurate and appropriate. The next steps are to complete enrollment and activate the last 2 sites. And so we expect the enrollment to take about a year. And you should contact the sites if anybody's interested, and then to seek regulatory approval. The situation for regulatory approval is in the US, so you go through the FDA, and we're completing the FDA, it's already been initiated, within the next month. So we anticipate that the full NDA will be submitted by the end of June, and that's in collaboration with Synthera Pharmaceuticals, who's the marketing partner. And that could, if it's reviewed well by FDA, then lead to drug approval in about 7 to 12 months. In parallel, we'll seek regulatory approval based on existing data with both EMA through Europe and with Health Canada in Canada. I should also mention that this current trial with that Jesse's Journey and Defeat Duchenne Canada is funding through ReveraGen. The trial management is expected to transition to Synthera with the next couple months, but the agreement and the contract resides just with ReveraGen. So ReveraGen and Defeat Duchenne Canada will maintain this relationship, even though the trial management and the sponsorship will shift to Synthera. And all have agreed to this, including the Defeat Duchenne Canada board. Thank you very much for your support. This trial would not have been possible without your support and also your participation in clinical trials. Clearly, drug development could not take place without the families and the patients' participation in these critical clinical trials. We certainly recognize they are a major demand on time and resources of the families, and we are very grateful and humbled by the energy of the families and the willingness to participate in these trials. It's really a collaboration not only between us and Defeat Duchenne Canada, but with all the families in Canada, particularly those who have participated in the trials, which have been quite a few over the last few years. Again, thank you for your support and have a good day.